Question number 10, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, my questions to the Prime Minister and asks...
Order. Order. To the Minister of Trade.
Sorry, yes.
So,
I forgot he's never here on a Thursday.
order. Order. Let's just have the question, please.
Yeah, he's never here on a Thursday, though, you see. OK, then. This one is to the Minister of Trade. Look, take a Valium, honey. Huh?
Order. 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 Now, we ask the Right Honourable Winston Peters to ask
Mr. Speaker.
Question number 10.
That's so kind of you. This question is to the Minister of Trade. Why is he not prepared to release the text of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, because at this present point there is no agreement.
Supplementary question.
Order. Order. Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Having regard to the fact that the question was with respect to the text, not the finished agreement, and New Zealand's opposition to the intellectual property articles of the TPP, that is, protecting New Zealanders' access to cheap medicine, industrial innovation and our native fauna, why does the public of this country have to rely upon WikiLeaks to provide them with the truth of what's going on with the secretive deal and not their elected government?
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, I wouldn't rely on WikiLeaks for any accuracy in the information. And I would note that when that minister was Minister of Trade, he did rely on confidentiality.
Point of order, the Right Honourable
Speaker, I was never Minister of Trade.
Why
doesn't Jerry do a bit of homework?
Order, and that's very much a debating point. Is the member raising a real point of order or
Yes,
supplementary question?
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question.
Take a point of order.
Order. I apologise. We have a point of order.
Yeah, I apologise,
Mr.
Mr. Speaker, to the member. He was, of course, Minister of Foreign Affairs. He was also one time...
And that equally is not a point of order. Now, can we ask the Right Honourable Winston...
They still miss me. Supplementary question.
Please proceed with the supplementary question, otherwise we'll move to the next question.
Does he still expect the TPP to be completed by Christmas? If so, how can you reconcile that with an unprecedented letter in the US history, that is, to President Obama by congressmen of his own party and half of the US House pledging to oppose the TPP's fast track through the Congress?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, every effort has been made by New Zealand to participate in the negotiations to this date. It is of great value to New Zealand. We anticipate a $5 billion year-on-year boost to our export economy. And we would, of course, like to see that its negotiations favourably concluded as soon as possible. But there are many parties to this agreement.
What have we given up?
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Can he confirm to the House that the chapter regarding state-owned enterprises is in even worse shape than the intellectual property chapter that was leaked overnight?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, we do not comment on leaked documents, have not commented on leaked documents and will not comment on leaked documents.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Does he agree with Laurie Wallach of Public Citizen that, and I quote him, all these other countries are saying, wait, you have no trade authority and nothing you've promised means anything to us. Why would we give you our best deal? Why would you be making concessions to the Emperor who has no clothes, unquote?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, I'm unfamiliar with who the member is quoting.
Question?
Supplementary question, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
What faith can New Zealanders possibly have that he won't sell out to foreign big businesses over the TPP when that's all he and his government have been doing for the last 5 years?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, firstly I totally reject that last comment, and then I'd ask him to reflect on the prospect of New Zealand export businesses gaining a $5 billion a year increase in export values as a result of being part of this agreement. If that is somehow selling out New Zealand business, then God help us should he ever get the chance to be Trade Minister.
Supplementary question. Sorry. Point of order.
Point of
Speaker,
order. Point of order, right on.
I seek leave to table a very important document which was leaked overnight and not generally available to the members of the other side.
Well, is the source of the document WikiLeaks?
Yes.
Well, then it is very freely available, I assure the member.
Well,
Question number 11, Mike Safe. I apologise to the member. Supplementary question, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Why did the Minister of Trade leave it to WikiLeaks? Mr. Speaker, is it permissible that somebody next to the Minister interjects all the way through the question?
Order. The Minister's indicating he can't hear because of the level of interjection. Would the member please start a supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Why did the Minister leave it to WikiLeaks to inform New Zealanders of the critical issues around intellectual property that are being debated in the negotiation, rather than informing New Zealanders himself so that they could have a say on what the government's stance should be on those issues, now when it counts, not afterwards when it's too late?
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
On behalf of the Minister of Trade, I have to express some disappointment that a man of such experience as the Honourable Phil Goff is prepared to swallow hook, line and sinker everything he sees on WikiLeaks.
Mr. Speaker, my question was straightforward. It wasn't excessively political, and there is nothing in the Minister's answer that addresses my question.
The member to ask his question again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Why did the Minister leave it to WikiLeaks to inform New Zealanders of the critical issues relating to intellectual property that are being debated in the negotiations, rather than informing them himself so that they can have a say on what they believe the government's stance on this matter should be at a time when that can make a difference, not afterwards when it won't?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Trade, as I said before, we don't comment on leaks. We haven't commented on leaks, and we're not going to comment on leaks.
Mr. Speaker, my question was about why he hasn't informed the public about the issues that are being debated. It's not to do with the leak.
Order. The question started was, why did he leave it to WikiLeaks to inform New Zealanders? The Minister's addressed that part of the question. Now, again, may not be to the satisfaction of the member, then the way forward is to use further supplementaries.
Speaker.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table the documents informing New Zealanders of what's being debated in the intellectual property section of the negotiations.
Because a member earlier sought to table a dossier of WikiLeaks. Is the member seeking to table that?
That's where it comes from.
No, and I rule that stuff's freely available if members want to go and get it. Question number 11, Mike Saban.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.